Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL offseason is always buzzing, but this year, there's a particular story that's catching everyone's attention. And it involves the Seahawks potentially making a bold move that could reshape their offensive line, and ultimately their entire championship outlook. Rumors are swirling around a blockbuster trade that could send Tampa Bay Buccaneers star offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs to Seattle in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2027 draft. Yeah, you heard that right. The Seahawks might be gearing up for a seismic shift on their offensive front, and all signs point toward this being a move that could elevate the team to a new level, especially in protecting Geno Smith and supporting the running game with Kenneth Walker III. Now let's unpack what this means, why this is such a game changer, and what it could mean for the Seahawks' future. First off, Tristan Wirfs is no ordinary offensive tackle. He's widely regarded as one of the best at his position in the entire league. He's a cornerstone piece for the Buccaneers, an anchor on their offensive line, and a guy who can do it all: protect the quarterback with technical mastery, open running lanes like a highway, and be an unyielding force in both pass and run blocking. Over his career, Wirfs has proved time and again that he can handle the big moments. With 94 starts under his belt, he boasts a PFF pass block grade of 89, 8 and a run block grade of 87. That's elite right there. He's allowed only 15 sacks and 98 pressures with a pressure rate of just 4%, which is outstanding. His penalties are relatively low, only 30, and he maintains a solid EPA per run of plus 0.14. In the upcoming 2025 season, Wirfs is poised to continue his dominance, having already played 16 games in 2024 with only 2 sacks allowed and 12 pressures, finishing with a PFF grade of 89.5. And crucially, he's coming off a healthy year with no injuries reported after 2024, making him a dependable option for any team looking to solidify their line. For the Buccaneers, who struggled last year with a 5-12 record and an offensive line that allowed an average of 3.8 sacks per game, acquiring Wirfs was always about stabilizing the front and protecting their young quarterback. Tampa Bay's salary cap situation is also a factor, with just $12 million in cap space, but a projected negative cap of around $15 million for 2026. They're prioritizing restructuring and moving pieces to rebuild the roster, especially on the secondary. Trading Wirfs for a future first-round pick not only frees up cap space, but also allows them to draft a future cornerstone or add assets for their rebuild. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are sitting on a different kind of cap situation, with around $7.2 million available and plans to restructure players like Charles Cross to unlock more cap room, potentially adding over $10 million in cap savings. Seattle is eyeing a more aggressive approach this offseason. Their offensive line, while decent, still has room for improvement. Allowing 3 sacks per game last year, the Seahawks know that protecting Geno Smith better is critical if they want to take the next step and contend seriously for a Super Bowl. Adding a player of Wirfs' caliber would be a major upgrade, transforming their O-line into a fortress that could support a more balanced attack, helping Smith operate confidently, and opening lanes for Walker III, who's projected to rush for over 950 yards next season, similar to what Kels did during the peak of the Chiefs' dynasty. The Seahawks have been building a roster capable of competing at the highest level, and acquiring Wirfs could be the final piece that turns their offense into a juggernaut. Think about it. With Wirfs anchoring the blind side, Seattle's protection would jump by around 20%, allowing Smith to operate with more time and confidence. Plus, Walker III's yards per carry could improve even further, and the Seahawks' EPA per pass would see a boost of around plus 0.18, making their offense much more explosive. The difference in sacks allowed, dropping from about 12 fewer sacks per year, would be significant, giving the Seahawks a much stronger foundation to push for playoff success. And in the red zone, Wirfs' presence could boost their efficiency by as much as 21%, especially with him solidifying the blind side against top defenses like the 49ers. Looking at the big picture, a trade like this would not only make the Seahawks' offensive line rock solid, but could also be a strategic move to make them genuine Super Bowl contenders. The odds for Seattle winning it all might have been around plus 10-0 earlier in the offseason. But if this trade goes through and the team gels, those odds could shrink to around plus 4-0, reflecting a real shot at glory. It's reminiscent of the Ravens' approach in Super Bowl 47, where Yanda's presence on the line was pivotal. Wirfs, with his talent and leadership, could be that kind of difference maker for Seattle, especially if he helps improve their red zone efficiency and pass protection against top-tier defenses. Of course, there are questions and risks. Trading a future first-round pick is always a gamble. You're betting on Wirfs becoming a cornerstone for years to come. But the potential reward: an offensive line that's as close to impenetrable as possible, giving Geno Smith the protection he needs and setting up Walker III for even more big runs. It's a move that says, we're all in this season, and for Seahawks fans, that kind of boldness is exactly what we want to see. The Buccaneers, on the other hand, are clearly signaling a rebuild mode, prioritizing cap flexibility and fresh assets over immediate veteran stability, which makes this trade scenario even more plausible. In the end, this potential trade paints a picture of a Seahawks team that's not holding back. They're aiming for a championship window that's wide open, and securing a player like Wirfs could be the piece that finally pushes them over the edge. If the Seahawks can pull this off, it would send shockwaves through the NFC West and beyond, setting the stage for a new era of dominance. And let's be honest, Seahawks fans, we love a team that's not afraid to make bold moves because that's how champions are built. Now I want to hear from you, Seahawks fans. What do you think about this potential blockbuster? Would you be excited to see Wirfs in the green and blue? How do you see this impacting our chances next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Seahawks news. Let's keep the passion alive and get ready for what could be a historic season ahead.